Welcome to LenTalk from Seoul, Korea. You can see in background the dawn, and what looks like a dawn in Seoul. I'm excited to be here to be a part of a new hub for the Global Church Network and preach at some Korean churches and to learn from Koreans about how to do church. Our text passage I'm going to really look at and a little bit is the gospel reading from Matthew 22:15 to 22. And this is where the Pharisees and some others wanted to trap Jesus. And it's coming up to the 15th of April. And do they pay taxes or not? And so Jesus, when they ask some very complex questions, what's the relationship between, Christ and Caesar? What's the relationship between church and state? Jesus gives an answer that is first of all, it's classic semiotics, but it's very simple. And I want to argue that we're living in a world that's increasingly getting more complex. And we shouldn't be afraid of complexity. We should realize that a complex problem requires sometimes complex sentences. Complex problems require complex solutions. But the more we have complexity, the more we need simplicity. And part of the reason I love being here in Korea is I have a friend, Byung-ho Zo, and he is the founder of the Tongdak movement and is a major force for God and the gospel in South Korea. And he has shown his people one manner of simplicity in a complex world. And he has distilled the entire story of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, each book of the Bible, what it talks about, into 10 minutes. So it's a 10-minute introduction to the scriptures. And I'm going to have you just look at a little bit of that and just experience you got multi-generations here, memorizing the story of the Bible. And I'm just going to give you about a minute clip, but the original clip was 10 minutes. And they did it. One group did it in Korean. A whole other group did it in English. And it was a real thrill to hear in this midst of this world of complexity. And you got all these 66 books of the Bible and all the complexities of those books, to have it in 10 minutes in straightforward form that just rings true. So here's a little clip, and we're going to insert it right here. Now I want to give you another way of thinking about evangelism in very simple terms, and it comes from this, do we pay taxes or not? What's the relationship between Christ and Caesar, church and state? And Jesus does something very simple. What's in your pocket? And the moment they reached in the pocket and pulled out a coin with Caesar's face on it, it was a gotcha moment, because you're not supposed to have any graven images on your body. So he didn't even say anything, gotcha. He just kept going. And what image is on the coin? Caesar's image. Okay, you give a Caesar what Caesar's, and then he just does this loop, and I call it a hermeneutic loop. Well, you were created in the image of God. What image is on you? So therefore, you give to Caesar what Caesar's, his coin's on the image, but you give to God what's God's image is on you. And I want to do that with a little ABCs of evangelism, very, very simply. And how do you say Jesus and explain the gospel in a complex world in very simple form? And I just call them the ABCs. A is admit, B is believe, and C is confess. A, admit you're a sinner. B, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and you will be saved. And C, confess your faith among others. Give a witness, if you will. The ABCs of evangelism. Now, let me put it even in 9 words, 3 of which are the same, so the whole gospel in 6 words. Okay. A, admit. What are the words you need to say to admit that you're a sinner? Christ have mercy. You can keep on going. Lord have mercy. Christ have mercy. But admit you're a sinner. Christ have mercy. 3 words. B, believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and you will be saved. So all you got to say is, Lord, I believe. Now, if you want to keep going, help thou my unbelief. But, Lord, I believe. 3 words. So you got 3 words for A, Christ have mercy. 3 words for B, Lord, I believe. And then C for confess, your confession and profession of faith. Jesus is Lord. Who is Lord of your life? Who's Lord of my life? The author of my life story? Jesus is Lord. So we have here another way of it. There's some other LenTalks that I've given you where you get the whole gospel in 9 words again. Justification, come down. Sanctification, come out. Glorification, come home. I can get 3 other words are the same. Here in the ABCs, this is kind of primer of evangelism. You got it all in 7 words because 2 of the words, 3 of the words actually. Well, unless you want to do Christ have mercy or Lord have mercy. But we got it down to 6 words. I mean, put simplicity and complexity together and you got simplexity. So this is simplexity evangelism because each one of these. A, admit. Christ have mercy. Lord have mercy. B, believe. Lord, I believe. C, confess. Jesus is Lord. I hope it's the simplicity on the other side of complexity. But I offer you this ABCs as a way of dealing with a complex world from a position of simplicity as the older I get, my theology gets more complex. The older I get, my faith gets more simple. It's all about Jesus. Make the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is Jesus. Leonard Sweet, here 6:30 in the morning in Seoul, Korea.